Hi there, guys. This is Shawn Michael. This is the WinBeta podcast for the week of April 10th, 2015. Today we have a lot of stories that we're going to go through, but first, I'm Shawn Michael, and I'm here with Zach Bowden.
Hey, I'm Zach. Hi.
And today we're going to switch it up a little bit. Zach is frantically running around, making sure that all of our lovely live demonstrations and everything are set up. So I'm going to be the host today. Stories for today include Windows 10 for mobile and the latest build that we've gone through and how there are some issues with that at the moment that they're working on. We're going to have a live demonstration, bit of an unboxing style video for a leaked desktop build, build 10,056. We're also going to talk about Redstone and how that updates similar to Windows Blue or 8.1. And then we have a couple more stories. The big one for the day is an exclusive interview with Jamil from Bing. And so we really want you to stick around for that. That's going to be about the 25-minute mark of the podcast. Definitely take a look at that. We really appreciate it on the show. But to dive right into the news, that's first things first. We have a Windows 10 build for phones that all of us would love to be running right now, but we can't. So Zach, there were some issues with that kind of coming to fruition. I haven't been trying to download it because I can't because I have a Lumia 930. Do you want to talk about what happened, and then we'll talk about what's actually in the build?
Well, they've released a new build for phones today, and those who are already on the preview, so if they're running build 9041, the first technical preview, you should be able to update to the second build, which was released today. For those who aren't on the preview, which is the majority of people who are trying to update to this build, you're getting this problem. As you can see here, it's just not loading. You cannot get anywhere near the fast or slow ring, so you can't even get the update started. Gabe Twitter that they are working on a fix. It should take a couple of hours. It's to do with some of the authentication and whatnot. So they are going to fix it when they can fix it, and maybe they'll do it within the podcast, maybe they won't. But it's more likely
two live demos.
It's more likely they won't. So yeah.
Yeah, well, it's sad. It seems like there's sometimes with these launches, is it just that the servers get super busy, or is this like an actual bug?
Get hammered. But I believe there was also an actual bug going on with it.
Okay.
I can't remember what Gabe actually said precisely, but they're working on it. That's all that matters.
Ultimately, this is a positive build. You know, the last build that we had really didn't have a lot of phones that it was actually able to be used on. So the latest build, there's a rather long list just from Windows, their actual blog post on it, and they have a really lengthy list of all the phones. To be honest, it's probably every notable Lumia except the Lumia 930 and the Lumia Icon. Yeah. So I mean, there might be a couple others. I don't want to offend anyone if your phone was missing, but the ones that we're going to focus on, it's not on the 930 or the Icon or the 640 XL, I guess.
Get a flagship, they said. You'll have all the updates first, they said.
I think that it's more. It seems like it's a scaling issue, though. Is it on the 1520?
No, it's not. It's only the 930 and
no. Third one listed is the 1520.
Yeah, so the only ones that aren't getting it in the Lumia range are the Icon and the 930, and that's because the screen size is different. The 6 inches versus 5 inches. The UX doesn't scale properly, apparently.
The 640 XL. I don't know what size is that. 6 inches.
The 640. Yeah, no, it's 5.5, isn't it? But it's a lower resolution.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, the latest build is really lengthy list, including the 1020 and some other nicer phones, the 830, that sort of thing. So I think it's good overall. I wish they had fixed those bugs. I have a 930. It would be nice to try that if that was something I could do or have the option of doing. But the more exciting news is what's actually in this build, and it's our first look at Project Spartan on a phone where you can actually play around with it yourself, right?
Yeah, on the phone, which is great.
Right. We don't have any leaks or any. You haven't had any chance to do that yet, have you?
Not on the phone.
Sometimes
slipped through my hands.
Well, sometimes we have leaks and that sort of thing where we've kind of played around with it before an official release, but that's not the case for this one. No. So, Spartan being on the phone, we've seen some leaked screenshots that we posted, I've seen on the web. But yes, the biggest change is Project Spartan. The new mail and calendar apps. That's a big change because they've combined the mail and calendar Outlook apps together, right?
Have they? No, I don't think they're combined.
Not together. Oh, maybe I misspoke there. Sorry. There's some. Well, they're universal now.
They're universal apps,
Yeah. Sorry. So the or Windows. Shouldn't it be Windows apps?
So they are Windows apps. That's correct.
Come on, Windows. It's your blog post. You should call them Windows apps. It says right there, built-in mail and calendar universal apps. Huh. Anyway, so that includes Outlook has customizable swipe gestures, letting you swipe right and left to take out actions like delete, flag, move, or mark, read, or unread. And this is all directly from their blog posts. Other features as well, and it continues to support all your favorite clients, which is nice. You also get the new phone and messaging app. Let's see, they use Universal on that? Nope, they don't.
They are also universal though.
Well, I don't think messaging is because it's not.
Oh yeah, maybe you're right.
Yeah, because you can't. They didn't link it up.
I think they might have worded that on purpose there. So it should be a universal. Or aren't they working on an app which allows you to text from the desktop?
I would hope so. I think it might be through Skype.
You're right. It may be through Skype. So it
might be kind of like iMessaging on the iPhone lets you do that.
Yeah,
really
but I thought the new messaging app on the phone side can Skype people anyway. See, if we had the build, we'd be able to find out.
I don't see. I would say it says you can easily upgrade from a messaging conversation to a voice call with one click. No, that's not what I need. I was trying to see how much if they've integrated Skype at all, but it doesn't seem like they've really hinted at that. I do think that might be coming in the future.
Okay, I've lost my mouse, guys. Oh, there it is.
There's also a new Universal People app, and see they describe this. It has a new visual design, but will continue to be a comprehensive list. So it's still going to combine all your other things like people, but it's now universal, which I think is nice. Or a Windows app again. Really, they didn't get their own memo, Zach. It's kind of weird. Anyway, maps. They're going to combine Bing and Here Maps in the map, integrate it into a single app, which is wonderful, or really nice, as Zach would say. It's really nice.
Fairly nice.
Yes.
All the commenters. Have you seen the comments in some of my hands-on videos?
No.
It's just people going, fairly nice, fantastic, fairly nice. It's like, oh, God damn it. I'm trying to stop saying, in all of the new videos I'm doing, I'm trying to stop saying fairly nice. I'm more like, which is pretty great.
Well, it's funny. It's, we read each other's posts all the time, obviously, try to keep up to date on our site and a bunch of others. And now I can read an article and I say, this is a Kareem article. I can just tell this is, and then you scroll up and that's from Kareem. And you can start, I know one of our editors in the past, or one of our previous editors used to say, he said, I could tell the writer's hands. Because when you get like just an app update, a lot of the time the easiest photo to get is holding up a phone, just taking a picture of it. And he said, so I can tell, it's kind of creepy. I can tell their hands apart. There's one feed.
Hashtag fairly nice is now in the stream comments. So there you go. Thanks, guys. Hashtag it's pretty great.
No, it's fairly nice.
Hashtag fairly nice.
Exactly.
Sean, keep talking. I'm trying to stall this quickly.
All right. There's an updated app switcher. I actually think this is one of the bigger differences for me in terms of sometimes when they switch to a Windows app, the front end actually isn't that different for us because it's a lot of coding, which is great. But from the interface, it's not as different as you'd expect. But updated app switcher, it's I'm trying to think of a parallel this actually like. But if you hold the back button, it kind of zooms out, and instead of showing you like the edge of the current app that you're on, and then you swipe one direction to go through, it shows like 4 at once, filling your screen, which I assume you could then click. Which is actually really nice. That's hashtag really nice, fairly nice. Sorry, hashtag fairly nice. And so. I don't know. Have you seen that or the leaked photos of that? Have you seen that yet?
Yeah.
Do you think that you'd actually use that, or is it just an interface change?
I love all interface changes, really. So, anything that looks good. Oh my, yeah. This virtual machine is having some issues.
Is it?
Keep talking, Sean.
All right, I'll keep stalling. Things that they've fixed in the Windows 10 build. They've updated the keyboard layout on your feedback.
It's completely crashed.
Actually, this is a bit of a change. There's 2 things I want to focus on. One, they give you a choice between 2 options. You have language switching is no longer on like the front. It says the keyboard layout now has a period, comma, and emoji keys on the first page of the keyboard. Language switching is enabled by press and hold the 1, 2, 3 key, and that's again post. But there is an option to switch it, which is fairly nice because you get to have that option. I know a lot of people, they don't like when Windows kind of mandates a change, so you really want like a choice. So I think that's nice because some people are going to use language switching a lot. Like I live in the UK, but my family's in America. And so sometimes I really need to put the pound, as in like the currency, not the hashtag, symbol, and say something in that price. And sometimes I need it in dollars. So I need to switch back and forth really quickly. And so it would be nice to have that language key up front. But other people, that might not be a priority at all, and they might really want numbers or, whatever the other priority is. They fixed Cortana, so she scales different.
And she looks better in this build.
Does she? I haven't seen her too much.
She does look better.
How's she look different?
She's a bit more like the, did you use the Windows 10, the first preview for phones?
Never used Windows 10.
Did you see it though?
I think I did. Let's say I have.
Well, the search bar at the bottom was pretty ugly. And now in the new build, it's a lot nicer. It matches that of build 10,056, surprisingly. So,
can I shout out to one of our live stream watchers there? I don't know if you don't know, we do a live stream for this every week, and then we can see the comment section through there. Fast 7 will be more than fairly nice. I just saw it last weekend. It will be much more than fairly nice.
Don't be spoiling it for anyone.
No, I won't spoil anything. I'm just saying it's a great movie. You will enjoy it if you liked any movie somewhat similar to those things. And to show that we can look at the comments while we're doing the podcast. Let's see, other things.
Very nice.
Nice. We don't get nice, we get Norse. Anyway, a couple things. You can use the Microsoft Band now with Windows 10, which is pretty good because that's a nice piece of kit or tech. You wouldn't want to not be able to use that. They have a bunch of known issues. They're actually a little long. I don't want to read through like every one. We're going to have to post on this, everything. Anyway, I do want to say you can't use, was it Office? Just like at all? Is that what they said?
Yeah, Office is a bit broken in this build.
So in that build, no Office.
Open Office files.
Sorry, folks.
You might be able to open Office, the apps, and then do it from there. But I don't think it's associated with the files. I'm not entirely sure on that, so try it out for yourself.
So yeah, that's kind of a big deal if you're like, these are preview builds, so you can't be that upset. It says the Office Hub has been removed from this build, so you won't be able to work with any of the Office stuff. So yeah, preview builds aren't finished. There's evidence of that. It's not like, oh, Cortana's a little fuzzy around the edges. It's like, no, you can't use Office. That's why you don't use this as a primary device. I don't want to waste. That's not a waste of time, but I don't want to read through everything just because we have other stories to talk about. There's on the same day as a Windows 10 for mobile build being officially released, we had a leaked version of 10,056. Zach, I know you're probably still wrestling with it at the moment.
I think it's ready.
Do you have some of the features maybe to talk about, and then we're going to have hopefully a live demo here?
Hopefully we're going to have a live demo. Let's switch over to that now, hopefully. Let's see if we can do this. Screen's gone black. That's supposed to happen.
So if you hopefully still hear us, we'll be back in just a sec.
I'm just moving. Oh no, I can't see where the thing ends. Oh no.
All of this will be magically removed in editing for the final.
Is that it? Does that look good? I could have done a better cut there. Should we try that again? Try it again. No, we're not going to try it again. This will do. So this is build 10,056. I've literally just installed this right now. No idea what's really new. I can see some new changes, so let's talk about them now. Obviously, the UI has been updated. The taskbar UI, at least, is now slightly transparent, which is what I know many people have been waiting for. This icon has changed, now a lot more modern, and it changes when you click on it, which is fairly nice. God damn it, I said fairly nice. Right, Cortana, the search bar, is now a lot more modern. It fits the entire height of the screen, and we should probably enable Cortana, so let's press that. Let's name ourselves my name. Sound good. Done. And does she look any different? Not really. So icon down here has changed. So the search, I think it's mostly the search bar that's been updated here. A lot taller, a lot wider, and a lot longer. But overall, I think it looks pretty great. Hashtag pretty great. The notification center is now dark. Can you change this? I'm not sure, but it's now dark, showing the dark theme. There should be an option. I don't know if it's in this build. I'll have a look in a minute. But there should be eventually an option to change between light and dark. So this is what the dark notification center looks like, which is a first. We haven't seen it before, so that's good. Let's go into the settings app. The window border seems to look a bit newer. The icons here definitely seem newer. That might just be a placebo effect, but I'm sure it's newer. The personalize area in the settings app is all new. As you can see here, you can now change background, colors. So you can automatically pick a color from my background, show color on taskbar and start menu, and make start menu transparent. So if I do that, then the taskbar will change, as will the start menu. And you can also change whether the start menu is transparent. So giving the user options, which is what Windows users love. Themes, apparently there's a new themes thing here, which just opens up the old personalize area for the desktop. Now the start menu has been updated in this build as well. If we click on that, as you can see here, you can now resize it much like you could pre 9926, which is nice. So it goes up and down. A bit buggy, but it works, which is good. And the taskbar just disappeared. Can also resize it horizontally, much like again actually you couldn't resize the old start menu horizontally, so you can in this build, which is great. It does full screen as it does in previous builds, but there's also a nice animation in full screen mode. If you click start, the start menu crashes. Live. God damn it. So the start menu is completely crashed.
It's live YouTube, folks.
Live YouTube. So I can't show you the new start menu changes. Spartan's in this build. I doubt there's many new changes in Spartan. Let's find out. Spartan's taking 5 years to load because it's in a virtual machine. And here's what Spartan looks like. So yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything really new. I imagine it's a lot more stable. Checking through the settings. Yeah, nothing seems to be new there. So again, probably a lot more stable. I say probably because I haven't tried it out yet. And it could be worse. I doubt it though. And now Spartan's crashed. So I take back what I just said.
Can you make the start menu go all the way to the top in this build?
I imagine you can, but guess what? I can't try it because this.
Okay, so the start menu maybe, but
I'm going to try it. Let me try Restart Explorer. See if that works. I feel sorry for our podcast, for our audio listeners.
Well, I'm not sure they're going to hear any of this.
Cut this bit out. So, yeah.
It says you can't see right now because you're listening while driving in a car.
Right, the start screen is back. Let's see if this works. Can we take it straight to the top? It doesn't go straight to the top. It goes near the top.
Goes near the top.
For this resolution, I'm only running on a low resolution, so it might not go any higher than what I can see here. But yeah, what I was trying to show everyone was that there is an animation when opening and closing the start menu in full screen. So if we close it and open, that doesn't work. It's crashed again. It worked a minute ago. Oh well. That's kind of the outstanding changes in this build. So.
And we're still going to have a full YouTube. This isn't, obviously this doesn't replace your build video that's going to come out later.
No, yeah, I'm going to dive in a lot more detail in our hands-on build, which we usually put out as soon as it leaks. But since I'm podcasting right now, it's going to have to wait. Yeah.
So there you go. Initial thoughts, feels. I get some of these. I think it's more about feeling. How do you feel about this build?
It looks good, but I can't say how it feels because it's in a virtual machine, and that's never really a great way.
Not a fair way to judge.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. That's our first live demo or interview like thing today. We're gonna have another one in a little bit. It might be pushed back just a few minutes, but
Team Gnome, just quickly, Team Gnome says about the whole start menu resizing thing, he can get it to about 120 pixels from the top on his 4K monitor, so pretty high.
Okay, well there you go.
So it's pretty good for those who don't want full screen but want it a bit full screen.
All right.
Whoever them people are.
Yeah. Back for our audio listeners who may or may not have just been cut out from a build that you couldn't see. We're going to just move on there. Like we said, we're going to have a full breakdown of Zach's initial impressions and preview list or feature list of the new build that's been leaked, 10,056. But for now, we're just transition over to a different story. Talk about Microsoft Redstone. I don't know a ton about this one, Zach. Do you want to go? Because you seem to know how this parallels well to previous updates. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Well, yeah, sure. So Redstone is the code name for the next Windows 10 updates coming next year. I say next Windows 10 update because it is an update for Windows 10. It will not be a new operating system, so it won't be Windows 11. It could be Windows 10.1 though. This is where we say update, much like Windows 8.1. Could be, we're not entirely sure yet, but we know it will include a bunch of features that don't make it into the Windows 10 RTM this year. We're not sure what those features will be, but because they haven't really announced things that they won't announce things that aren't going to make it into the RTM. Redstone will come out in 2 updates in 2016. One in the first half and one in the second. The second half is October 2016. Do not remember off the top of my head when the first one will be coming. But yeah, that's pretty much all we know about Redstone, that it will be an update to Windows 10 next year and will include a couple of features, plus a few new features that didn't make it into the Windows 10 RTM.
I'm not used to this sort of thing, and from like that end of it, it seems kind of odd to plan for updates that you can't do now. But I guess they're just being realistic and say there's no way we can get these into the build yet.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. It happened with Windows 8, and it happened with it happens, and it's not out of the ordinary. It's not like, oh no, they're doing a terrible job. It's just normal for a development project this large. You will miss out on deadlines and stuff.
So, sorry for just someone had a question that came to mind. James from the comments asked, "What are you running that you have 100% CPU usage right now?"
Can they see my CPU usage?
Well, when you open up the task manager during the live demonstration,
I'm in virtual machine, so virtual machines are. Well, the Windows 10 build was virtual machine anyway. It
was like clocking out at like 100% usage.
Actually, let's see my current usage now. It's 70%. So.
So a little less?
A little less on my actual host. But that's because I'm running a virtual machine and I'm podcasting and I'm recording audio. My PC is doing a lot right now.
Yeah. Oh, what a good girl. Thank you, computer.
Thanks, computer.
Or Cortana, who will now be the name of all computers.
Hey, Cortana.
Don't say hey, Cortana. One of our... We'll have 6 devices respond. Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's great that they are actually planning ahead. If they can't get it in there, I'd rather have them fix it. I'd rather have them focus on having like a stable Windows 10 with all the core features and then add things over time.
That's exactly what they will focus on. I know a lot of people are moaning about the current stability of the public Windows Insider builds, and they're like, I keep hearing they're so close to RTM. How are they going to stabilize this so quickly? It's happened before. I believe Vista stabilized like within a couple weeks before it RTM'd. So,
and I'm telling you guys. September is still technically summer. Well, I mean that because people act like it's going to be in like June or July, and it's like, folks, it could be in September, on September 20th, right before the equinox.
There was a rumor saying that it would they're aiming for June for the RTM.
That's a rumor. I mean, if they said summer, they're still keeping their promise as long as it's before the equinox.
They're being realistic, or semi-realistic.
I think it's fine. I think it's kind of we get a taste, and that's the problem is we get like a taste of it now. Like news, we almost break news before it happens sometimes. Like that'll happen. I see that a lot where people are kind of reporting rumors happen before it even happens. Sometimes it turns out to be wrong. And so when you look at like, Windows 10, that's not going to be the case. And we get leaks and stuff, but like we're getting a taste of a preview for like a year before the final build.
You are,
and so it's
you're
totally
also getting
different.
More builds. Like with Windows 8 and Windows 8, we only got 1 preview build for 8.1, and we got I think 3 for Windows 8. So that's how much they've opened up. Admittedly, they've been fairly slow with the fast ring of the Insider preview, but it's better than having 3 builds throughout the entire year, whereas we've had like 7. That might be a bit of an exaggeration, but we've had at least over 5 now.
Well, we're only in April, so those might speed up before we get there. We don't know.
Yeah, so it may speed up, and also the Insider preview will continue after the Windows 10. So Redstone, that's another thing for Redstone. Redstone will be dog-fed, I guess, dog-fed to Insiders, much like the Windows 10 preview builds have, which is good.
What does that mean?
What, dog-fed?
Yeah.
Well, it's a term for development where you dog-feed software, so you give it to like the early testers and they sort it out and stuff. And Make sure
All
it's
right, whatever.
That's
You guys
what
call which
the
one.
internals at Microsoft do every day, and that's why we don't get all the builds, because they go, "Oh, this is too bad, you can't have it," and then we never get a build. That's how it works.
Huh. Well, let's not complain. We got 2 today.
We did get 2 today.
He's like, oh, we don't get enough builds. We don't get enough builds. Let me tell you, everyone. Let me just tell you right now how Zach was like 3 minutes before this podcast went on air. It was like, everything fell on us at once. We just got this leaked build. We just got this official build. I'm doing all this stuff. And it's like, well, you said you wanted, if you had daily builds, this is what it'd be like every day, Zach.
Yeah, Team Gnome does say you can't dog feed to an external group of testers. You're right. I was just using dog food as an example of giving it to people. But yeah, you're right. Dog food. It will be sent out to a public testing group, I guess, which is the insiders. So there you go.
Are you telling me that they'd have some sort of Windows beta?
Oh, maybe. That'd be nice. Instead of releasing really crappy, unstable builds every few weeks, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Someone should make a website about this.
This is WinBeta. Yeah, they should call it WinBeta or Windows Beta.
No, that's a bit long.
Maybe
just WinBeta, and then they can have some British guy reveal YouTube videos.
Team Gnome, I'm wrong. Okay, sorry, Team Gnome. Team Gnome should host the podcast.
Yeah, Zach. Let me just say, if it makes you feel better, we've had listeners talk about how attractive they think you are. So if your ego's a little down,
I'll just remember that, shall I?
we just remember that. I said I hate to break this one to you, but he's happily in a relationship. But they still think you're cute, Zach.
Can't complain about that.
How's that replacing the guy from One Direction going?
It's going well.
with the builds, it's hard to.
Yeah, it's with juggling the podcast and the builds and stuff. It's hard to be a pop star.
You know what you could do is the way that they forced the U2 album onto iPhones. You could force you guys' new album into the new Windows 10.
I can force Windows 10 onto every phone in the world, including iPhones. That's what I'm gonna do.
Hey, we saw some news today about possibility of dual booting phones. So
that's been an idea for ages though. Dual booting phones.
Apparently, a patent went through though, right?
Didn't that go through years ago?
I have no idea. We reported it today. I'm assuming that there's news on it. Go check out the front page, guys.
Well, I don't read our website. God.
Well, Zach, did you read my story about the Xbox One?
Absolutely.
Okay, there we go. Because that's our last story before the Bing one. We have that. So stick around. In just a few minutes, we'll have the Bing interview with Jamil, and we're going to get that running. But real quick, we just want to talk about I think this is pretty big news on the Xbox front. There are 2 devices out now, and they basically, what they do is they allow you to run over-the-air or broadcast television without a subscription fee through the Xbox One, and give you features like voice control through the Kinect, One Guide, streaming to the Xbox One Smart Glass app, and those sorts of things. So there's 2 different devices. One's called the Digital TV Tuner, that's made by Microsoft. That's available in the UK and now in 11 more countries throughout Europe: Austria, Belgium, Denmark, Finland, Ireland, Netherlands, Norway, Poland, Portugal, Sweden, and Switzerland. Sure. It was already available in Australia, France, Germany, Italy, Spain, and the UK. So that's one device. Zach really wants one, but you can't find them here.
Actually, I'm holding it up to the people right now. Remember when I mentioned to you that they were not available here in the UK at all, unless you paid like 50 quid for it?
Yeah.
Found one on eBay for 30 quid. And I took the plunge because I wasn't going to get another one for that cheap. So there you go, I got one and it works great. The Xbox behind me, not on right now, but it's now my TV, and I stream Freeview. In the UK, it's Freeview here. In the US, isn't it over-the-air TV?
Yeah, and that's a different device, so we'll get into why that's
a different device. But this is the one in Europe, and it turns your Xbox into a little TV, DVR thing, so it's pretty cool. You get HD channels, SD channels. I've got about 135 channels from it, which is nice.
Yeah, well, what people don't recognize sometimes is that while obviously a lot of cable channels are premium and exclusive, a lot of them aren't. A lot of channels that people watch aren't exclusive. In the States, you get things like NBC, even things like Ion, and a bunch of other channels. In England, what are some more popular channels that you get through Freeview in England?
BBC, ITV, Channel 5, E4, Channel 4. Dave, I guess. I haven't seen Dave on there. Maybe.
Kind of free with the BBC. You do have to pay a licensing
You do.
fee.
Yes, true. You do have to pay a
watch
license.
it live.
But
the other ones are there. And for those who don't know, in the UK, 4 is a really popular channel for, like, you'll see things like The Big Bang Theory and popular shows. It's not like just news or something like that. So it's a great thing. Have you used OneGuide integration with it yet?
Yep.
And
it's a bit slow, but it's really great when it works.
And do you have a Connect? I don't know if you have one.
No, I don't have a Connect.
Okay.
I want one now, though.
So, yeah, that's one of my questions here. For these devices, do you think that they make a Connect worth it?
I think I want one. I didn't want one until I got this TV tuner, but now I want to just sit on the couch and go, Xbox, watch another channel.
Well, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it is. It's really cool. I mean, you can also, with the TV tuner, we didn't talk about this, the TV tuner, you can stream telly to your Windows Smart Glass device. So I can have telly on here and on the computer and on the laptop and tablet and stuff, which is great. So you can have TV all over the house.
Yeah, Microsoft had a video kind of showing, I think it was Major Nelson, and was showing like all the features. And one of them was through the Xbox One with the next device. So let's transition to make sure this is clear. I'm talking about now the United States of America and Canada device, because it's a completely different device from the digital tuner.
Isn't this one? Oh, do they look the same?
Not really.
Okay,
so that one, you need a digital antenna and you need the device. It's an over-the-air device. It's made by a different company. It's not made by Microsoft. If you look, that's the headline is "Time to Cut the Cord. Xbox One gets an OTA TV tuner." I don't know how to pronounce the name of the company. I'm going to go with Hauppauge. That's probably terribly wrong.
Hauppauge.
There you go. Sure.
I don't know.
In any event, so they're the ones behind this. There's a video that Microsoft did, and they showed that you can be watching on streaming it to your device, like a Surface or something, through the Smart Glass app, and then do other things on your Xbox at the same time. Yeah. So you can be watching TV on your Smart Glass on like a Surface Pro 3 or a Surface 3 when it comes out, whatever, or Surface 2, and then a game there, which is pretty cool. Multitasking is a huge deal to me.
And you can also do the split thing with the apps on the Xbox One, so you can have TV snapped and you can be playing a game or something, which is also good. Yeah,
one of the things is that, if you're waiting in the multiplayer lounge, then you can have TV on the right or that sort of thing. Yeah. So a lot of really cool features. I think I saw this story because what my complaint was they had the digital tuner in the UK and they had Sling TV in the States.
Yeah.
But there wasn't one location you could have both. Well, now there is. And so now with Sling TV, you if you're in the States, you can get a ton of more premium channels like TNT. If you pay extra, you can get HBO and ESPN 1 and 2 and a bunch of other channels. And then you could also have this over-the-air tuner all connected through actually, I don't know if Sling TV has the OneGuide yet, but that's sort of, you just get more and more through the Xbox One. Really makes more of an overall media device. So I think that's what it was originally kind of billed as, was like a home entertainment system. And then that kind of faded away a bit, but I don't know. I think that this brings that kind of back into the foray. What do you think, Zach?
Well, do you remember when they announced the Xbox One back in May 2013? Was it 2012? I don't remember, but it was amazing. It was May one of these past years, and they focused entirely on it being a TV and entertainment device, not a gaming console. And they kind of backpedaled hard at E3 that year, saying, "Oh no, it is a gaming device. This is what it does." And we've never really since then. We've not really heard. They haven't really done much of the telly side until with these devices, which kind of telly or TV box, sorry, and telly is a bit of a British word.
I think it's great though, and they integrate it well. You can be watching TV through one of these devices, and then Skype will show up and say you have a call or you have a gaming invitation, that sort of thing. And I think that's great because then you can it is really an all-in-one entertainment device.
Yeah.
So I think it's great. I'm a big fan. I will probably be getting one by the end of this year. Maybe not. We'll see. You don't
have an Xbox One yet, do you?
I don't have an Xbox One, so it's not something as simple as just getting one device for me.
Just get one of these. It turns your telly into a TV.
Get one of these. It turns your telly into an Xbox. No,
no, it does not.
Oh, I wish. Yeah. Anyway, Okay, well, in terms of stories, that's about it for the day, I think, for us, unless you have anything you want to add, Zach. We have another thing coming up, but in terms of news stories...
No, I think that's it. I think we've done it all.
Okay.
Done it all
Well,
pretty well.
Zach's going to show us a new build, or not a new build, sorry. He just showed us a new build. We don't have another one. He's going to show us Bing and our interview with Jamil and that. So we're going to have time shift. It's not live. We did this just the other day, so that's why my shirt's different. Zach's this. Anyway, so take it away, Zach.
So hey, Jamil, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
We're good.
Yeah, doing well.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to be here and talk to us.
Yeah, it's very exciting. It's always great to talk to some of our best fans and the community out there. And I know it's we're recording this quite late for you, so
one of the biggest fans you have, right?
Yes, perfect.
So, what do you do in your day at Microsoft? What's your current role?
It's a fun question. I actually have three distinct parts to my job at Microsoft. The thing I'm most known for that I've been actually doing since the launch of Bing back in 2009 is running our image and video search product team. So what that basically means is that I have a team of really amazing program managers and designers and engineers that I work with to actually conceive of all the different features you see on Bing image and video search, test them out with our users, continually improve them, and hopefully get more and more of fans towards Bing. My second job really revolves around speed. Speed is manifested, of course, in performance of Bing.com. That's what everyone thinks first when they think speed is how fast does this page load, and that's very, very important problem space. The other things that are around speed, though, are also around speed for our developers. So do we produce APIs that are fast and efficient, that we have a good developer community, including big partners like Apple and Yahoo that want to use them, as well as, of course, all of our mom and pop friends. And then finally, I run an incubation program, which is called Bincubator. And the idea behind Bincubator is that we have like a lot of employees, several thousand on Bing in some way or form, and they all have really interesting ideas. And sometimes they're not related to Bing at all, but we want to make sure they have a chance to go and try them out. So Bincubator is a method we've created to allow them to prototype their idea, give it a chance to pitch, and if things work out well, and we have folks here who really are interested, we actually give them time off from their formal jobs to go and actually pursue that full time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's a fun job. I wear lots of different hats.
So I imagine image and video search is an important part for Bing. Why is it such an important feature for a search engine? Why is that something that you have to focus on in detail?
So, I'm glad you focus on image and video. For a long time when we think about web search, it's been synonymous with, documents on the World Wide Web, like the text, the news sites, the research sites, so on and so forth. And that's, what has been important for so long. But, we know that the nature of people's internet usage is changing. People are taking lots and lots of photos. People are counting on videos and images to answer their questions, to solve their problems, to capture their memories. And we think that, and we fundamentally believe that, trying to make sure we understand all that content, discover it, understand it, make it available for searching and learning is equally important, as it is for web. Our friends over in California haven't quite jumped onto that yet. We think they update their image and video search from time to time, but for us, we've really chosen to make it a first-class citizen and spend a lot of time focusing on that.
I really enjoy the Bing image search. It's really powerful, and it's one of the best in the industry, I think. I definitely choose Bing for image search over any other browser search engine.
Oh, thanks. We work really hard to try to make sure that quality is up there, to make sure that we have more and more fans like you. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, and I also know that at least 20% of searches return some bit of multimedia content, that sort of thing. And so when you search, you need that to be a priority, because that's a lot of time that's what I'm looking for. I don't want a story without that multimedia content a lot of the time.
Absolutely. And in fact, a lot of the work we do is to help our friends on the web search team, which we know people kind of go to first, to kind of guess like, hey, somebody's typing in a search, sometimes maybe of a celebrity or a news event, and oftentimes they really do want to see the picture, but how do we read their brain, right? And that's actually a very challenging problem to know, hey, maybe, the multimedia content is the right thing for us to feature. And we actually spend a lot of time actually trying to make those algorithms better and better to make sure we can actually guess what your intentions are and show you the right content at the right time.
Yeah, so I'm sure this takes a lot of maintenance, a lot of updating, that sort of thing. You've rolled out a lot of updates over the last few months. Do you have a favorite, just out of the last few months specifically, features that you've added, any updates that you've made?
Yeah, so we do lots and lots of experiments and trials on new features. So we've done tons of stuff, but the thing that makes me the most happiest is when we release features for our fans. We have a lot of Bing users, but a very core group of folks like yourselves who are real fans who use us multiple times per day, and we listen for requests from our fans. And sometimes they don't seem like super obvious things, but when we deliver them, they create a lot of delight. So one thing I'll show you on my screen here actually is a feature we shipped a couple months ago. So here, let me just refresh this here, and hopefully you guys see it. So I did a search for YouTube Pride. So a lot of folks they want to see song lyrics, and some of our fans even told us, hey, look, I really want a karaoke mode. Like sometimes I'm just challenging someone to a duel at a bar, or hey, remember this lyric? I wanna follow along or sing along with my friend or whatever. And so we shipped a while ago the ability to show for specific song queries what we call a hero video, so you can play the music in line. But when we heard that sort of karaoke mode request, we actually partnered with our friends over at LyricFind and actually started putting the lyrics side by side right next to the video. So as you listen to this video, you can actually go and follow along the lyrics, sing along, so on and so forth. And we found that a lot of our fans, they totally enjoy that, and they start going crazier and crazier when they see all the lyrics and the songs up there. So we actually built in this little carousel as well. So if you hit enter on the See More Songs by U2, if this works, yep, you'll see this carousel that pops up. And we know that our friends in Mountain View have been doing the carousel-y thing, which is fine. But U2 has made a lot of songs, and sometimes what you're looking for is not really just in the top song list. So we've kind of gone a step further and actually enabled you to flip through all the different albums that we know of from U2. And so, for example, if you know that, hey, you're interested in a song that is in their Best of the 80s and 90s album, you can flip that right open and then, click, say, for example, Pride, which I think we just clicked on actually. But you can actually try any of the other songs, and you'll, for many of the cases, like for example, Beautiful Day, we can actually show you Beautiful Day with the lyrics as well. So the idea is, folks who are just music lovers, happen to be Bing fans, can just keep on, flipping through and through, seeing all the lyrics, watching all the videos, and, in just one single screen, just sort of kind of get their music desires completely fulfilled. So we're really excited about that.
That's one of my favorite things about Bing, and really distinguishes it from other search engines, is when you search something, it's not just a list of links. It's not just, oh, here's every website that we showed up based on this algorithm. You actually get a lot of information just right on the page. The NCAA tournament, just finished up, and that was a big thing for that going on, major events, that sort of thing. And obviously there with the lyrics as an example. You have some new stuff coming out this week. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, no, totally. So actually, I'm really excited to share something that literally has been rolling out as we speak. And I know some of you guys discovered it, a little bit early, which is totally great. We've called this view the Image Insights view. And the idea is that in image search today, if you do a search, say, oftentimes people will plan their vacations. Like, I want to go visit a national park on holiday. And, you might type in national parks on image search because people are looking for some inspiration, right? Like, hey, where should I go? The world is huge. What should I consider? And a lot of times when you go on image search, you might see a beautiful canvas of images, both on us and our friends over in Mountain View, which I'll acknowledge here, right? Which is totally great. But as you roam through, you often just don't have any idea, okay, where is this thing actually? So for example, like this thing here looks really cool. Okay, where is that? Well, if you click in now, we can actually start telling you more information about the image. So same image on our competitors here. If you click on this, you don't really get a lot of information about what this thing actually is. You see like a web page that might have some information. It's talking about park admission fees here, which I guess is somewhat relevant, but that's not really, doesn't tell me what I'm looking at right here. And our goal has been to say, hey, you know what, as we crawl it more and more of the web, we learn more and more about the images on there. So let's start assembling all that information together as best we can and now offering it to you. So in this case, we identified that actually this image is likely Arches National Park. And in fact, you can click on this and even do more searches specifically of this park and find more images from the park. We actually try to find smart, interesting facts and other information. So here, for example, we captured a little snippet here that says, you should actually, that the park is actually in Utah, and it's worth staying for sure. So that's like a simple start. Now we think, okay, you were inspired initially, right? You saw all the images, you found this one thing you like. Now you want to kind of learn more. So we've shown you a little bit of information, but what else could really help you sort of explore and learn more about what your options are? So below the image, we've actually introduced additional information about what we've discovered as we found each image on the internet. So for example, we know that this image is featured in multiple Pinterest collections. And so oftentimes people will document, like here are all additional cool things to go visit, and you can go link to those boards and they can learn more and more. And sometimes we say, like what are other parks that might interest me? Well, we can show you related parks and other information. So the idea here is that, at first glance, you can learn a lot more, right? Now, sometimes that's not enough for folks. Like they actually want to start taking action. So, for example, if I'm looking at national parks, I would say, okay, great. I want to go to this park and I want to camp. And so, geez, for camping, I need to get like a sleeping bag and a tent, right? So now I do a search of sleeping bags, and I kind of loaded up this search here. And so again, people often, when they're looking to shop and buy things, they start with image search and they kind of try to find an idea of what they want. And so I see a bunch of things here. Okay, this is like a bit more not really my style here, but how about this one here? That's something that is really interesting. So let me click and explore there so I can see this thing in a bigger size. And now I actually can look and say, like we actually found places where you can even buy that item. And that's a huge feedback we get is folks find things they want to buy on image search and they have no idea how to go buy it. So now we've actually tried to put in some effort on this beta feature to help you find out where you can buy these items. And so you can actually click, for example, on Coleman.com seems to offer this. And now you actually hopefully see the item available for sale. Which is a very logical next step that customers take that we wanted to go and make a lot easier. And again, people often will say, great, I got my sleeping bag, now let me go buy other things. So people will go buy tents, buy backpacks, flashlights, like we've tried to intelligently suggest more and more follow-up actions. So again, people can click on tents. I have a larger family, so this 6-person tent might be interesting for me. Again, I can go scroll through, find a place to buy it, look at other options, so on and so forth. So we really feel strongly that this is like an exciting new area for us in image search. And we actually don't want only folks in Bing who go directly to Bing to benefit. So we've even, made a Chrome plugin, just for our friends who are stuck on our competitor's browser here, which we know there are a few of you. Like one example I pulled up this morning here is, you have a Pinterest board. I love astronomy. And, I saw this picture, for example, of this galaxy that I'm really curious about. Now, if I look on Pinterest, whoever pinned this, they pinned it, if I scroll down here, from Failblog, which is like not really a good place to learn about that image, right? If you go there, you actually see a bunch of random stuff. But I really want to learn what the heck this thing is. So with the plugin, we actually can hover over and we'll actually expose a little magnifying glass on the image on the corner. And you can actually click through, and now we'll even bring those insights that we had on Bing straight to you via the Chrome plugin. So you can scroll down here, and now, we found this image on 2 other pages, and these are potentially pages that have better descriptions, better links, and things like that. So that's sort of the thing we just released in a nutshell. And if you guys really want, I can show you a whole other feature that we just we're about to ship. If you want a sneak preview on something.
Go ahead. All
right,
we're excited.
Yeah, let's cross our fingers. Let's see if this actually works here. We're gonna actually try to get my my phone, my evil little iPhone here. online. So let's cross our fingers. All right. All right. Should be coming in.
There we go. Yep.
Oh, yes, perfect. So, what you'll notice here is our mobile product. And on image search, we know a lot of folks love to enjoy images when they're out, browsing around on the streets. And we've obviously built a great image experience on Windows Phone, and people use image search and video search a lot, actually a lot more on mobile than they even do on their PCs. But for folks who are loyal Bing users on iPhone and Android, the experience is still not like nearly as rich. So we kind of thought about what are the most basic things you do when you do an image search. You enter a search, right? And so in this case, I try to search Jennifer Lawrence, and so I hit search, and you'll notice that unlike the typical search box, we have this little search bubble here, and ability to sort of tap and easily add sort of additional augmentation. So, for example, Jennifer Lawrence was in American Hustle. Sometimes she wears beautiful outfits. So, say I tap dress, I can immediately add the word dress to that search and refine it without having to go and do error-prone typing. Now, that's some stuff that you see is becoming more and more standard. So, what's the innovation? One thing that we really wanted to focus on was how do people explore an image search. Like we find that once people are inspired with one search, they want to do more and more and more, and that's really hard on the mobile device. So what we did is we tried to package up all the exploration opportunities in pivots. So I can simply tap, for example, Jennifer Lawrence, and I can find out other actresses where I can sort of look at them in dress outfits, for example. So in this case, I could look at Jennifer Lopez. She's worn some amazing outfits, right? And with one tap, instead of trying to figure out how do I tap in Jennifer Lopez and make mistakes on the phone, I can easily go and tap that. And if I say I don't want to see her in dresses, I want to see a broader query, I can just X that out and keep looking at more and see her, for example, with Mark Anthony, and keep on refining without having to do lots of error-prone typing, which we think is a huge convenience factor. So that's something that you guys are getting a sneak preview on. You'll hopefully see it out actually in the next few days. We've had some really good experiments here.
Cool.
Yeah.
So looking at these demos and these new features, the UI is great. I really love how Bing looks. It's really one of the best looking websites out there. How do you decide how the UI looks? How does the process work?
So it's really based on our users. So oftentimes what we'll do is we'll actually look at both qualitative and quantitative feedback. We get so many users in Bing every day, and we get a lot of information from them, both when they actually submit feedback. So they people when they hit that feedback button and they type in something, we actually read those. They don't go into the bit bucket. We actually go and try to understand. Especially when there was a problem of some sort, we'll go and read the feedback, try to figure out what we could have done better, and then we merge that with quantitative data. So whenever you use Bing, we look and understand how your session went. Like, did you quickly go and abandon the session? Were you able to go find a result quickly? Did you have to do more and more searches? We try to understand all that data in mass, so we can't really look, we want to protect privacy, so we don't really go individually, but we look in mass and try to understand, okay, what directions are we headed, and what sorts of problems can we solve for our users? And based on all that, we have a team that gets together, conceives of what types of features we could build that will help solve particular challenges or opportunities we see. And then we run lots and lots of experiments. We run, chances are when you go to Bing, you're opted into, a handful of experiments. So, we'll actually monitor how our experiments do, and we'll let our users decide, based on how they interacted with a variant or an experiment. We'll decide if we want to go ahead and ship that or not. And a good example is that experience I just showed with that touch query formulation. We actually ran that experiment for several weeks on a percentage of our users, and we got great results. So we're looking forward to releasing it very soon.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's great. Honestly, a lot of this tech and UI stuff, it's way above my head in terms of how you make it. But it's not just you. You have a really big team, and you head up the performance team as well. How do you manage at that large of a scale?
Got it. So performance is especially a very challenging problem, and it's really a multi-headed beast if you think about it. So I mentioned before that we look at performance both as performance, for our customers, like how fast does the service load, as well as performance for the developers and engineers. So we want to make sure that when our developers, conceive of all those experiments I was talking to you about, they can actually get those experiments from the whiteboard all the way to your machine in as quick a time as possible. And that is also a performance problem. Same thing with our developer community. We want them to go and, folks like, Apple and Yahoo to build on top of our platform in the fastest way as possible so they can also keep innovating. So if I just, like any big problem, we sort of unpack it into pieces. And if you just look at, for example, performance for our end users as an example, we go and say, okay, look, there are sort of three fundamental pieces of this sort of layer cake, if you will. One is how fast is our service itself? So if we were just to issue the query locally inside of Bing, like what was the fastest time at which our service can go and respond to that search? Then on top of that, there's like a network layer. So, we may have responded to that search, but how long does it take for that information to transit over to the end user? And what are the optimizations we can make there? And then finally, at the top end of that cake, there's how long does it take for your machine to actually render the results? Like a lot of times your browser may actually have the data, but it's taking time for that to assemble and actually display on your screen. That is not trivial. And at each layer, at sort of each part of that cake, we're actually trying to go and look at how we can sort of optimize it down to the millisecond level. Like we'll look at very, very small optimizations that can actually add up over quite a bit to actually make sure that we deliver performance as quick a time as possible. And some of our best engineers are actually working on those tough problems.
So just one more question from me. What can developers expect from Bing in the coming weeks to months? Are there any new cool features on the way?
So for developers, the biggest thing I would say for especially for image and video search is to make sure that you contact us if you have an image, an image or video content heavy site, because we'd love to partner with you. We'd love to work with the webmasters and content developers and producers to help them be better represented inside of Bing. So those examples I showed where, for example, you can purchase the item, right? The more partners we have, the richer we can make that for users. And of course, the more upside there is for our partners out there. So that's certainly one big area of focus. I encourage anyone who does have content they want better represented on Bing to contact us. We're eager to work with them and to develop with them. And then, we are always looking at more ways we can, share our technologies in ways that are beneficial to others. We can't really say too much right now, but if you look out for us at the Build conference, we'll definitely have some more stuff to share on that front.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting, especially with Build coming up. One of your most important partners, at least in my opinion, is actually another team over at Microsoft, and that's the Cortana team. I know you don't work with them, you don't work on Cortana, but obviously Bing plays a big role in powering it. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Oh, sure, absolutely. So our vision for Cortana is really Bing's vision for Cortana and Microsoft's, which is to make it your ultimate personal digital assistant. So if you think about your digital assistant, it certainly has to have great eyes and ears. It has to know and listen for what might be interesting to you, and that's what we are building on the devices, right? So on your Windows phone, it's listening, it's looking at what you're doing, it's trying to understand more and more about what interests you. The way to look at Bing is Cortana's brain. It says, okay, it takes in all those signals from the device and actually looks at all the different opportunities to inform and help out our users through Bing. So, for example, I showed you earlier the U2 example where we looked at songs and lyrics. Now, if somebody were to, have a device with lots of U2 songs, Cortana will kind of guess, hey, look, you're probably a U2 fan. Now, geez, like, wouldn't it be nice if your assistant told you, oh, here's the next time they're in town for a concert, or here's, oh, hey, by the way, they dropped a surprise album or a surprise single, you should go download it. Bing is in a position to know about that. Sort of be the intelligence that will then go and inform all or inform Cortana and say, hey, look, tell our U2 fans out there that this is available, and certainly Cortana is pervasive. It's going to be pervasive on all Microsoft devices. But we really want, Bing's intelligence and sort of Cortana's intelligence to be available to our partners as well. So we've worked internally with Office, for example. So, if you actually, we have a feature called Office Insights. If you actually are trying to look up information while you're in Office, you can actually gather insights from Bing, same technology that powers Cortana. And certainly, of course, our partners, Amazon, Yahoo, Apple, they're all looking at different ways into tapping into that sort of intelligence platform, if you will.
Cortana is one of the most used features from Microsoft that I use personally, and
Awesome.
Cortana definitely wouldn't be about without Bing. I'm right in thinking, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Like we have a lot of folks here who work on Cortana. I have actually folks on my team who are really helping a lot with that intelligence aspect. Like the member of my team who actually who worked on that lyrics feature is actually also working on Cortana features. So we're tied together very, very deeply.
So thanks, Jamil. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks. It's been really great, guys. I appreciate the time. And get some rest, guys. Thank you for.
All right, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Jamil. We'll see you next time.
Next time. Thank you.
And that was the wonderful Jamil Valliani from Microsoft showing us all of the latest features from Bing. Always a pleasure to have the people from the Bing team on. We love looking at all the new features. So yeah, that was great.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for today. We really appreciate you tuning in. For those that tuned in live, every week now, it seems every week we're doing a live podcast, same time, 3 p.m. Eastern.
Tell your friends.
Well, yeah, tell your friends. Eastern Standard Time, 3 p.m. And now we had a live demo, put a guest in this week. So hopefully in the future we'll continue to have guests and some of the more premier and exclusive people that we can find on the podcast. It's been great to have guests like Jamil and then also Thomas from VLC. So we really appreciate everyone that helps us out with the show. And for those tuning in. So we're done with the news for today. This has been the WinBeta podcast for the week of April 10th, 2015. I am Sean Michael. You can find me on Twitter at Sean_Michael_UK. And then there's Zach.
You can find me on Twitter at ZachB_.
And you can always find WinBeta for the latest news for all things Microsoft and Windows related. We're on Twitter at WinBeta, DOTORG. That's spelling out the dot in winbeta.org. And then we're also on Facebook. If you look at the bottom, there's all sorts of buttons for sharing. There's Tech Meme, I think there's Pinterest, there's Facebook and Twitter and all that. So you follow us anywhere that you feel is going to give you the best chance to get the latest breaking news. And obviously we're here on YouTube as well. For those that are used to Zach's build, we have more and more things coming on our channel. So we really appreciate you coming out this week, checking out the podcast, and we will see you on the next one.